Alright, this is what we're doing today. It's a 1973 Rolls-Royce Corniche barn find. Don't know how long it's been since this thing run. The dude says that he's backed it in here 6 months ago, but it's got no brakes. He advertises it as a new top. Well, yeah, I guess maybe it is a new top. It's not attached. I did hear it run though. We did make it start. This thing is just rough. The paint, it's been repainted because I can tell, and the interior's been redone as well. But there's spots in here. I don't know if you can see this where it's blue. So this car was originally blue. I don't know what the interior color was. Maybe it was the same color. The wood veneer is tired. I'm not a big fan of this color combination, but this is a Corniche. And the Corniche is the most desirable of all the Rolls-Royces. And even though the Silver Shadow doesn't get the love and respect that it deserves, you know, this one being a 70s model with the chrome bumpers, or the extensions that are a little different than my 1967. Doesn't have the bar. It has the sort of French-tin speakers there. But I know that it runs. I heard it crank. The problem is that we don't seem to have the key. He's lost the key. And I hit up Flying Spares, and they got me this key. And this was a debacle because I gave them the VIN. They made this key for me, and they overnighted it to me, but they accidentally sent it from England to my old address in Texas. And I had somebody go pick it up and then overnight it back to me. So I've spent about $150 on this key. And the key does not go in. It doesn't fit anything. Now, either this is completely wrong or someone along the line has changed all the locks. But that means they would have had to change every lock in this car at some point, which could have happened in the last 50 years. But this key does not work. You know, this is just turning into a big disaster. There's hardly any fluid in the thing. There was no hydraulic fluid. There's no transmission fluid in it. It's just bone dry. And, you know, I'm not saying that the cat's lying to me. He said, oh man, I backed it in here like a year ago. The emergency brake is down all the way. Can't release it. Has no brakes. I don't hear the hydraulic pump running on it. He's got this one too. He's a Rolls-Royce enthusiast. This thing's got a flat tire on it. This thing actually runs beautifully. This thing fired right up and pulled out. Now we got this thing running. The thing actually fires up and runs beautifully. If there's one thing I can say about a Rolls-Royce engine, I've never seen one that didn't run. This thing just needs some basic loving, you know? I mean, look, it looks pretty bad, but this is a Corniche. And a Corniche is a car that, you know, this thing's just been sitting. It needs carpets, it needs a lot of things, but all that said, this thing hasn't run for a year. It's got, look, it starts right up. And every Rolls Royce I've ever seen, no matter the age, will start right up. Now I don't hear the hydraulic pump. Normally we hear it going tick, 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 tick. I'm not hearing that. We filled it up with RR363, which is a special fluid. You know, a big mistake that people make here is just cleaning out the car. This is the stuff that goes in there. RR363, it's a special blend of .3 made exclusively for Rolls-Royce and Bentley, okay? Stuff's about 20, 30 bucks a quart. I just put $100 worth of fluid in this thing. Look at it. Thing is idling great. Some fresh gas, a little carburetor cleaner. This thing will purr like a kitten. And that's what makes these cars great. You know, I know the paint on it is jacked, but this car is worth restoring. If you've watched Gary Mavers in the UK, who's been restoring he's got two Corniche. Two Corniche his. You know, that these things are, and I'm not going to reveal what I'm getting this for, but if it wasn't a deal, I wouldn't be here. Because a lot of people have come and look at this car. Let me turn off this smoke. A lot of people have come to look at this car and they were like, yeah, no, forget it. And there was also some other snafus. He didn't have the title. He doesn't have the keys. This key, believe it or not, doesn't fit. This is a key out of that yellow car. Now, if you jiggle it and jimmy it, it'll go. Because that's how these Rolls-Royces are. It's a little padlock key. It's really simple to defeat. So it didn't take much to do. Look, it's the Google car. Hi, Google. Google just, now my truck, and I'm gonna be on the Google map for this guy's house. That's a Google car. Anyway, he went to go get some transmission fluid because the transmission is dry. I just tried to put it in gear and nothing happened. I checked the stick and it's bone dry. He's like, oh, I don't understand. I don't know. I don't get it. Well, see the old spot where that car was? A Rolls-Royce that doesn't leak is a Rolls-Royce that doesn't have any fluid in it. Okay, I couldn't record any of this because it was a little sketchy. So it's got no brakes whatsoever, but the emergency brake is stuck on, so that adds just a little bit of resistance, but not enough to stop it. The thing runs great, so I drove it. I pulled out of the driveway, made a loop-de-loop. You can see a trail of drips. By the way, just putting transmission fluid in it, transmission kicked right in. It's what happens. They leak. That's what they do. And I can't really record this. I'm gonna try to drive it up in there, and I think it'll stop where I put those stops. It's not gonna have enough momentum. I've raised up the trailer to get it as level as I can. I wish I could record this. You know what I could do? I'm gonna set the camera. I'm gonna set the camera in here. And then if I wreck this sumbitch, we'll have a video of it at least. Put these cones here to soften the blow. I need to move this stand out of the way. Oh my God, that's so heavy. Okay. That's not gonna work. I got this thing in here. I didn't have anybody to help me film or still, I had to keep having to stop what I was doing, crank it up, turn the wheel. It's leaking everywhere. The key that we get, we jerry-rigged the key. He's gonna go try to get a key. So it's gonna be stuck in the trailer because I don't have a key for it. And I'm gonna need a lot of help getting it out. And it's convertible, and I'm gonna have to put it inside. And this was a stupid idea. But it's a Rolls-Royce.